Pretipaul Jaigobin, the Economic and Financial Analyst attached to the Ministry of Finance and Treasurer of the Guyana Cricket Board, died in a vehicular accident on April 1, 2021, while on duty in Madhya. He was cremated on Friday, following glowing tributes at his home, where Ministry of Finance staffers, members of the cricket fraternity, and other well-wishers had gathered. Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh, who had worked closely with Jaigobin at the ministry since 2002, reflected on some traits that made the late financial expert a standout in his field.
From the first day that he came to work with the ministry, he established his reliability, his dependability, his trustworthiness, his integrity, his courage and fearlessness, his willingness to take on additional tasks, to do more. He never shied away from anything. He was never daunted by any task. He was never intimidated by any duty. Nothing was too much for Jai to take on. He was willing to seize every task that was assigned to him and execute it flawlessly.
Dr. Singh added that Guyana is indebted to the great contributions of Jaigobin, noting that the father of two was responsible for the country's cooperation with the European Union.
And in fact, when he was first recruited, he was recruited to the European Union National Authorizing Officer Task Force, the task force that managed all of Guyana's cooperation with the European Union. And the European Union is one of Guyana's biggest development partners. And Jai was responsible for ensuring that the projects and initiatives supported by our partnership between the European Union and Guyana, for ensuring that those initiatives and projects were well implemented and were implemented with the strictest standards of accountability. And he discharged that task, those tasks, and that responsibility with distinction.
Jaigobin was also a leading figure in the financial management of the nationwide COVID-19 cash grant initiative rolled out by the government. His close friend and former Minister of Finance, Sesnarayan Kaulisar, also paid tribute to the 54-year-old, calling his death untimely.
For if ever there was a time when death has cheated us, if ever there was a time when death has defeated us, if ever there was a time that death has shown that it is no respecter of persons, and if ever there was a time that death has diminished us all, that time and that moment is now.
Jaigobin and 3 other persons were traveling in a black Toyota Tundra along the Madhya Access Road about 5 kilometers from the Maburo police outpost when the accident occurred. The other persons were treated for injuries at the Linden Hospital complex.